Hello friends, my name's Jo and I'm coming to you from Queensland, Australia to deliver today's session on top tips in Canva for Education. I'm an educator of more than 20 years with more than half of that time spent within some capacity as an EdTech integration specialist. Additionally, I am a Canva learning consultant, a Canva creator and a Canvassador. Today we're going to be looking at what Canva for Education is, some of its new features, top teacher tips, and make sure you've got your device nearby ready to scan a whole bunch of resources within the shortcuts and courses section. So what is Canva for Education? Canva for Education is an entire visual suite that has been made available for free for teachers and students worldwide. And whilst you remain within one of those two capacities, it will remain free for you forever. It has more than 80,000 education-specific resources that you are able to use as is or customize for the classroom, and more than 3.6 million non-educational resources that can be adapted and customized for the educational context as well. There are so many different doc types that are available for you to use and manipulate to then integrate within your teaching and learning practice. Here are some of the most popular templates for teachers, and my favourite being education presentation, and we're going to deep dive into that a little bit more throughout this session. Let's get into some of the new features within Canva for Education. A highly anticipated and much requested feature, page numbers, has been added within Canva at the end of 2024. It allows you to drop pages onto each slide automatically, as well as removing them. And you can find that under the dynamic text subheading on the left-hand side of your panel under text. You can now also draw within presentations, ensuring that you have opened a presentation and are presenting within full screen. You can then head on down to the bottom right-hand corner to select either a pen or a highlighter tool to draw and annotate over the top of your screen. It is important to note that when you move to the next slide, it will remove your annotation. If you have a screen recording capability on your interactive whiteboard, this will also serve as an additional benefit for flipped learning or for those learning from home. Polls and quizzes is another new release that is highly anticipated and allows for more interactivity within the software platform. Polls gives you feedback to gauge student understanding, get feedback or preference on a topic, and quizzes provides the opportunity to respond to a question with a right or wrong response that can be collected as evidence of understanding for assessment purposes or can be exported into a CSV file for data collection. To create a new poll or quiz, head on over to the left-hand side of your editor pane and click on Elements. Underneath there, you're going to then be able to see the polls and quizzes function. You can customize your poll or quiz in terms of text and color, but we can't yet modify font or add images. But with Canva, never say never. We can use quizzes for short formative assessment to check for understanding on a recent lesson. Quiz responses are private to each user, however, the teacher can see all of the responses. We can also generate quizzes using Canva's magic AI capabilities. So from this particular page, we can see that there is some text here about Newton's law. To generate a quiz from this text, simply click on the text and a little floating toolbar will appear. Click on the magic right icon and select Generate Quiz from the drop-down menu. Here's how it looks, and anytime that you tap on that text button and generate quiz again, you will get some other variation of this question, but you are also able to edit and customize both the question and the responses from within this box. You can use polls to quickly survey teachers or students on a topic or to assess their learning. Students can collect poll data for a class project, and poll responses are viewable to everybody. How each learner votes is only viewable to the teacher. We can share our poll responses by heading up to the top right-hand corner and clicking Share. To share a poll with a user, create and customize the poll that you would like to send out and head up to the top right hand corner. Make sure that you select public view link and note that only 50 people can collaborate at a given time on a poll or a quiz. To see the responses, tap on each of the different polls or quizzes embedded throughout the presentation and a floating toolbar will pop up. Select the button that says responses and then you'll be able to see each of the individual responses and answers. All right, let's check out some top teacher tips. These are 4 of my favorite tools. Of course, there are 100 others that I would love to go into today, but I am bound by time. So let's check out the Tidy Up tool, frames, remote control, and magic shortcuts. Let's watch this little video as I'm talking to you. The Tidy Up tool is one of my most favorite teacher hacks. Simply add the content, whether it be lines, text, elements, and place the first or the last, top or bottom element where you want them to sit on the page. As you can see here, I've put the line at the top that I want it to start and the one down the bottom for where I want the bottom one to be. I simply head up, select all, head up to the top where it says position and click Tidy Up. Watch the magic happen right before your eyes. If we keep watching, I've now created a second page next to my lines, and this time I'll demonstrate with the use of an element. So I've headed over to the left-hand side and I've typed dinosaur into my search button under elements. I'm now going to copy and paste the dinosaurs and I'm going to arrange them on the page so that I show where I want the first dinosaur to be and where I want the last dinosaur to be before I tidy it up. I then select them, head up to position, and I do have multiple options here. I can tidy them up horizontally, I can tidy them up vertically, but for this one I'm going to click tidy up and it evenly spaces them all to make my work look a little bit more professional and neat. Frames are another cool tool within Canva and can be found on the left side panel under Elements. Frames serve as a placeholder to drop photos into. They come in different shapes, sizes, and even alphabet letters. You can simply hover a photo over the top of the frame and drop it in. Here I'm demonstrating how we can find different shaped frames, but we also have something called a grid, and this is where I can collect a whole bunch of photos to make a photo collage. I can have photos that have a grid that has between 4 and upwards of 9 or 10 different capabilities of dropping photos into. So if I head on back to my frames and I'm going to choose a hexagonal frame here, I then can choose a picture, remembering that I can also upload my own photo if I'd like, but for the purposes of this, I'm just going to type dog in and I'm going to select photo. Pick the picture up, hover it over the top of the hexagon, and you'll see that it wants to drop straight in. So once you let go, it then makes that shape. To then be able to edit from within, to either move it around or make it bigger, I then double tap into the frame and then I can adjust my picture accordingly. Another cool thing with frames is I can also drop videos into them. So for this one, I'm going to select a computer monitor and I'm going to add a picture of a dog playing in a park that is animated. So I click on dog in a park, I go over to videos and I select a video that I'd like. I know that it's a video and it moves because I have the little toolbar down the bottom and the ability to press start, play and pause. I then can hover it over the top of my computer screen, and if I want to adjust it, I double tap into the screen and I can adjust and center my image from within. Frames can also be used for other activities, from bulletin board lettering to personalised student portfolio pieces. I can search for different types of frames within the Elements search bar. For this one, I've typed in letters and I've chosen A, R, and T for my art bulletin board. And to make it really purposeful, I'm then going to head on over to my Elements and I'm going to type in art and find some pictures of paintings that I'd like to drop into that. See how easy it is? Another really cool feature that Canva has that not many people know about is the remote control functionality. Canva's made it super easy to navigate a presentation without having to stand next to a computer or an interactive whiteboard and click through the slides on your keyboard. You can now roam around your classroom monitoring student work and behaviour whilst flipping through your slides on a separate device. To access the remote control, open your presentation and click Share. Once you're in your presenter mode on the bottom right-hand corner, there are 3 dots. Once you click that, you can then select Remote Control. A QR code will pop up, which you can then scan with your device and then control the screen from your personal device. Magic shortcuts are found within presentation mode. These help to capture student attention and engagement when you are presenting from the board. Let's check out some of these. First, you're going to search for and customize your presentation so that it's ready for the end user's viewing. Once I've done that, I head up to present and I go into full screen. Once I'm in full screen, you can find the shortcuts button in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll find it, there's a little floating toolbar right next to the draw icons. So there's my drawing tools, and right next to it, I'm going to find my magic shortcuts. It's going to tell me what each letter represents and how I can use them from within my presentation. So when I click B, my screen will blur. When I click Q, I get a quiet. When I click O, bubbles will pop up on my screen. When I type C on the keyboard, confetti will show. When I click D, I'll get a drum roll. When I click U, the curtain will close, but the curtain will also reopen on U. When I click M, the mic will drop. And remembering that each of these also is accompanied by sound. Also within presentation mode, I can use a timer. I can simply access this timer by tapping 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the corresponding minutes will then show up on my timer. The best part about a timer is that you can also play music from the little music icon. If you're not in present mode and you'd still like to use a timer, the timer is also found in the bottom left-hand corner and it has the same functionality. If you'd like to screenshot here or take a quick photo, these are some of your magic shortcut tools that you can use when you're in presentation mode. Okay, make sure you've got your device out because in a moment I'm going to have some QR codes for you guys to access. The first one is going to be Canva editor shortcuts. So of course, Canva is all about making and providing you opportunities to work smarter, not harder. And from within the Canva editor, there are a variety of shortcuts that you can use to cut out a lot of time in your creating process. Some of my favorite shortcuts here are simply tapping the T for text, and it will open up a text box straight into your page. If I click on the letter R, I'll get an adjustable rectangle that I can also type within. Clicking the letter L adds a line, and the letter C will add a circle to my page. The circle and the rectangle I am able to add text to as well. Definitely book this one for later because this is like a treasure trove of different shortcuts that you are able to access from a clicky link here. Canva has collated a whole bunch of different doc types as well as subject-specific areas for teachers to be able to open and quickly access different pages where they've all been collected. So some of my favorites within here are whiteboards, and that in itself is an entire hour-long session, which I would love to do with you later. But if you're a subject-specific teacher, if you're a specialist, and you'd like to head straight to mathematical resources without having to filter through the tens of thousands of options and resources that are available on Canva, you can click on the clicky link in this page and it will take you to a whole bunch of mathematical resources. Same with visual arts, science, social studies, design, whatever it may be. If you'd also like to search for specific types of docs, you can also then use the orange and yellow clicky links within here. So definitely scan this and save this for later on. It's also a useful one to share with others. Whilst I realise that this is an international webinar, Australia has just gone back to school, and I know that this, though, will be very helpful for around the world. We have collected a whole bunch of resources here in one area that include Meet the Teacher, Meet the Student, Classroom Decor, newsletters, communication pieces, Google headers, whatever it may be, all in one area. So these are specific to going back to school, and it's one page that you can bookmark for later, even if you want to save it for later on in the year, or the most recent templates that have been added to the Canva library. And now if you're going to save or bookmark any website from today's session, this is the one for you. This is the Bible of Canva for Education teacher resources. If you scan this code and you save this website for later, it is a wonderful resource for you to continue to come back to, as it contains so much information and links to different parts and spaces and places to manipulate and work with within Canva. Some of those include Canva Design School, where you're able to watch short and sharp tutorials. You can also access all of Canva's essentials courses, so professional development training sessions, and as well as playbooks for you to deliver to your students, student engagement activities, template shortcuts that I've shown you, your creator editor shortcuts. So this is your treasure trove of Canva for Education resources. This is definitely one to take away from today. As briefly mentioned before, Canva Design School has also developed a range of teacher essential professional learning, professional development courses that you can complete for free. They are also short and self-paced. The Teacher Essentials one is a great one to get you guys in and learning how to work with Canva, delivering lessons with Canva and getting your students online, but they've also just released an AI one as well that is very useful for helping empower you to use AI within your educational context. Canva's also collated a range of teacher playbooks that you can use to assist students in getting on and using Canva. So this is definitely one for you to scan, especially if you're a specialist teacher or if you're looking for content specific to a subject area. Finally, it's probably going to give you some peace in knowing that, different to other educational resource sites, Canva for Education only employs educators to create educational content that you are then accessing from within the Canva library. So all the educational templates that you're finding within Canva have been created by teachers for teachers. So if you are after something specific, maybe a specific niche, maybe a template that's been created in a different language, we have collated an education creators directory for your use. Of course, there are more than 300 educator creators around the world that are creating the content that you're finding in Canva every single day, but these is just a handful of people that are creating content. So it's a really good reference for you if you need to look for something specific or created in a specific language or niche. Finally, I just wanted to say a big thank you for sharing your day with me. I hope you've been able to walk away with some really cool new tips and tricks that you can implement into your classroom going forward. Please make sure that you do reach out to me on socials at TeachCheap if you require any further assistance or if you'd like any more clarification on anything you've seen today. And I hope that we'll be able to meet again in the future on your Canva learning journey. Bye now.